Felipe Massa is currently exploring his options regarding a challenge against the validity of the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix and, consequently, the entire outcome of the 2008 Formula One season. Why is Massa considering this move? And could we really see Lewis Hamilton have his first world championship taken away from him? The story begins at the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, a race that produced one of the most controversial moments in Formula One history, a butterfly effect that has once again been made relevant 15 years later. Renault were a team considering their exit from the sport after almost 2 full years without a race win. The downfall in fortune since consecutive Drivers' and Constructors' Championships in 2005 and 2006 left the team needing big results to justify their continued participation. Renault's drivers, Fernando Alonso and Nelson Piquet Jr, lined up for the Singapore Grand Prix 15th and 16th on the grid after Alonso's car suffered a fuel feed problem in qualifying. Alonso was the first driver to pit on lap 12 of the race, and on the next lap, Piquet hit the wall at turn 17, causing a safety car deployment. Alonso benefited massively from the safety car. He raced on to claim the first of only 2 Renault victories that year, in a race in which title contender Lewis Hamilton finished third. Who came off worst as a result of the safety car? You guessed it, Felipe Massa. Massa had been leading the race at the time of Piquet's crash, and a panicked pit stop that resulted in the fuel hose remaining attached and needing to be removed at the end of the pit lane meant Felipe's Ferrari rejoined at the back of the field. Hamilton took home 6 points that day, with Massa leaving empty-handed. Hamilton went on to claim the title by a single point after a dramatic season finale in Brazil. In 2009, Nelson Piquet Jr was dropped mid-season by Renault after 10 races without scoring any points, and almost a month later, reports emerged that Piquet had been ordered to crash in Singapore by his team to aid Alonso's push for a win. In September 2009, Renault were formally accused of interfering with the outcome of the race by the FIA and were subsequently handed some of the harshest punishments we've seen in Formula One. The incident became known as Crashgate. Recent comments by Bernie Ecclestone, the former CEO of Formula One, are responsible for igniting Massa's desire to consider his legal options. Ecclestone claims that both Max Mosley, the then president of the FIA, and himself were aware of Crashgate in 2008, but decided not to do anything about it, with Ecclestone now saying they wanted to protect the sport and save it from a huge scandal. There was a rule at the time that the championship rankings couldn't be changed after the FIA awards ceremony at the end of the year, so both Ecclestone and Mosley stayed quiet, leaving only rumours and speculation that anything untoward had happened in Singapore. Felipe Massa believes this confession from Ecclestone means that the result of the race, and thus the championship, should be overturned. He said, "This is very sad, to know the result of this race was supposed to be cancelled and I would have a title. In the end, I was the one who lost the most with this result. So we are going after it to understand all this." While it's hard not to feel sympathy for Felipe, who came so close to winning that elusive championship regardless, he's unlikely to succeed in getting the final result of the 2008 season overturned. Overturning a historic race and championship result would set a major precedent. You would have legal challenges appearing from all over the globe, from drivers scattered across every era of Formula One. It could set off a chain reaction, and the sport simply cannot afford to have a large-scale rewriting of its history. Another thing to consider is the fact that all of this stems from Bernie Ecclestone's recollection of interactions 15 years ago with Max Mosley, who passed away in 2021. Whilst there's no reason to doubt the validity of what Ecclestone is saying now, there is simply unlikely to be any real kind of evidence, and the evidence would need to be overwhelmingly concrete to overturn a Formula One season result, given the impact it would have on the sport's history. So whilst we do feel for Felipe, he is likely going to have to continue living without the F1 world title which he so desires, and so Lewis Hamilton will remain a 7-time world champion. Do you think the result of the 2008 season should be overturned, or should we let past errors of judgment lie? Let us know in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe for more Formula One content.